originally from New Jersey, from Essex County, from East Orange. And the biggest joke that has ever been in my life that Jersey is the armpit of America, and that's as a direct result of all of the pollution and all of the climate issues that went on and occurred in New Jersey. But I just read an article where the governor is giving state regulators power to deny development permits to businesses whose operations pollute predominantly Black and other minority communities, which is a good step. But doggone it, I hear you talking about the compressor station in Roseland. That is a suburban town, that I would thought they would not have ever made something to that effect come there. My issue here is dealing with Union Hill, Buckingham County. I've in the past, from 2018 to 2020, I've gotten involved as a direct result of my family having land there. Our land has been in our family for over 130 years. I am a fifth generation of my great-great-grandfather, Taylor Harper, who was a freed slave, who purchased these lands for $15 back in 1867. And here we got Dominion, McGuire Woods, wanting to come in there and take a portion of our land to connect to the current Transco line that has been there since before my birth. And they had the compressor station, which would be less than a quarter of a mile from our family, from our land, where back in my younger days, I might have been able to throw a football to the length of where it is from our property boundaries. I gave Doyle survey company a hard way to go when them trying to attempt to come on there and survey our land to put the borders and the barriers directing the connector that they would have from the Transco to the new ACP or proposed ACP and compressor station. We fought them tooth and nail. We retained an attorney, that fought for our rights to extend it, and it kept on going. They threatened us with for court in the Southern District, Federal Court of Virginia, and that never happened because we kept fighting them. Our family refused to give in to Dominion, and eventually they just stopped pressing us. So ultimately we had a victory in that way, but the fight still continued. And it was so ironic. These county supervisors of Buckingham, they did a 1 day, 2 day emergency evacuation plan. Hell, if there was one of an explosion of that pipeline, they would be having to do a search and recover practice. Never mind evacuation process, because nobody would survive that. The fumes, the noise pollution, the water pollution, the air pollution, all of that would have affected that primarily African-American community in Union Hill. And so that's where our fight was. This was a classic David versus Goliath venue that we were able to defeat Goliath, and we got to the point where when they got to the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals here in Richmond, the three-judge panel, they all said you didn't look at an alternative site. You didn't look at alternative measures for that compressor station as opposed to a gas-fired. You didn't look at the population of the density of African Americans in that community, and they vacated their entire permit. At that point in time, I felt confident that we had defeated Dominion. And I'm ever so grateful. My family's ever so grateful to all the environmental groups, the Friends of Buckingham, Appalachian Voices, Chesapeake Bay Foundation, Sierra Club, Brittle. We've had all of these folk that came to our aid. Reverend Dr. William Barber, Al Gore, Corinna Gore, Will Barber III. We did a massive that became national news to fight Dominion, to fight the pipeline, to fight the compressor station. So it was very exciting at this point to talk about it. Now, right now, in fact, they've not only moved from Union Hill, they've gone to Charles City with a power plant there, as well as other areas in the Commonwealth of Virginia. The MVP, we're fighting that along with our folk there as well. They just came back and asked that they can continue the construction while pending the challenges with their permits. and we're not going for it. Here we are also back in Union Hill, those landowners that were given monies in exchange for easements of their property. It was already told, Dominion said, well, they can keep the money, but here they got us in limbo, or these folk in limbo as to whether they're going to keep their land. So we're reaching out to congressmen, we're reaching out to senators to help us get past that to deny Dominion the ability to keep these land trusts, to keep these easements of land for these people. These folk, like my family, have been generations upon generations of landowners in this community, and it's a rural community. So it's high time that FERC gets stopped. It's high time that the DEQs of America get stopped, because all they are puppets for FERC. And when speaking of which, my organization, Bridging the Gap in Virginia, we have embarked on creating what we call our Green Jobs Workforce Center, where we're seeking a $300,000 grant from the EPA to get rid of a brownfield location that we purchased to create this center. Workforce Development Center. Union Hill, Buckingham County has suffered as a direct result of this pipeline fiasco. So it's high time to bring some type of economic stimulus back to that community. So this is where we've gotten creative, and we're able to purchase an inexpensive piece of property that has gas tanks and below and above the ground. So we're looking for the EPA for this funding that we can recreate this space and be able to provide training in solar. I've conducted 2 solar panel installation classes, one in Union Hill and one in the city of Richmond. We want to bring green jobs back to or into the state of Virginia, into Union Hill community, Buckingham County at large. So we're excited to move forward in climate change. We're planning to have a weatherization program going on for those folk in Union Hill to help save them on their utility bills, as well as we're going to be teaching them how to identify those areas that are affecting their homes, that they could plug up holes, that they can move forward and move toward a more renewable energy atmosphere and lifestyle. I'm ever so grateful to my staff, that have been there. My technical advisor, Professor Mary Finley Brooke, who is a whiz on anything dealing with environmental issues. So we're just found out information today that here they are trying to do a power plant in Portsmouth, Virginia. The header improvement program out in Charles City project, we're trying to stop that. And all of them are directed in primarily people of color, African American communities. They feel like they came to Union Hill and feel like they can, deal and that we were a bunch of dumb country black folk that they can come in and run roughshod over. But they were completely baffled when they realized that no, you're not going to take over our land. You're not going to take over this community. You're not going to trespass against us. So we're excited of what has happened. We're looking forward to moving forward. We're still waiting to see if they're going to give us these easements back, and we're hoping that will happen. That somebody somewhere somehow will be able to say, Dominion, give them back their land parcels. You have no use. There should be some type of legislation. If the permits fail, that they must return the property, as well as allow the individuals to keep the monies that they paid for them. It's high time, like I said, FERC must be stopped. They sent the Army Corps of Engineers down there, of course, who work for them, who give them whatever report that they wanted to have to say that Union Hill was an acceptable location for this pipeline. They lied on the reports when they came up with the numbers of African Americans that lived in that community, and we threw that back. Based on Dr. Lakshmi Fajor's study, research. We were excited about all that happened. We did everything we needed to do. Circle of Protection, another group, the Wild Virginia, another group. All of these organizations came together to the aid and rescue of Union Hill in Buckingham County. And we're looking to do the same thing for the MVP. to stop that. We're looking to do the same thing for Charles City. We're looking to do the same thing for Portsmouth. We're looking to do the same thing for Southgate, to stop big businesses from coming in and running roughshod off on these rural communities and urban communities that they feel that they can just take totally cold-blooded advantage of. We're not going to stand for it no more. It's time to change the narrative. It's time to let them know that we've gone through it enough and you've hurting our families, and we can't, and we've been doing it, we've been allowing it too far long, and we're not going to continue to let it happen.